Hello, my name is Jeremy Nathan with JN Training. Happy you all took time out of your day to join this Microsoft Teams training. I'm going to show you a lot of new features and tips in Teams. So everyone grab a pen and paper. I'm going to have you all take notes because I'm going to go kind of quickly. This is just a sample class, and I'm going to post in the chat some other classes I instruct. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen too to show you. So we have some classes coming up with Cleveland State Community College. Let me put those in the chat here. So that's going to be the beginning Teams. These are all 2 hours. The beginning Teams class is going to be September 23rd from 10 to noon. And I'll post these in chat. Then October 21st, 10 to noon. And November 18th, 10 to noon Eastern time. Let me put these into the chat here. So a lot of you have attended a lot of these sample classes I've been doing. Let me post these here. I post this into the chat. Go ahead and look at these websites. If you all can't click on these, just put that in chat. If you're not able to click on these links, these are all the classes, $150 per person, 2 hours each. I'm not sharing a recording of this class, but you will get a recording of each of these classes, and you will get a PDF workbook for each of these classes. And I'm also going to send you the outline of those. Here's the outline. I'll email you the outline, and I'm going to email you the all the trainings that we do, like in Excel. Here's all the Teams classes with the outlines. I'll email you this, and I'm going to email you the outlines here. Here's all the other outlines like Six Sigma, beginning Microsoft Excel. I instruct these online and on site. So when I come to your work, I bring up to 20 laptop computers for you all to use. So I teach many levels of Microsoft Excel. Also teach Power BI, Tableau, SQL. We have some SQL classes coming up in October. If you all are interested in those, please post that in the chat. And so like I said, I'm going to email you this. Check your junk and spam folders this afternoon, please. Add me to your safe sender list so you get all the updates from me on these classes. You all can go ahead and post in the chat what city and state you're from. I'm here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'll post that in here. Good to see you all on here. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're from. Well, let me show you what we're going to cover today is getting the most out of Microsoft Teams, these Teams tips and tricks here. I'm going to show you new features on how to work more efficiently in Teams. I'm going to show you shortcuts, how to do multiple chat windows. So you all could post in the chat too. Are you all using Teams at your work? You can put that into chat. And I'm going to show you meeting notes. I'm going to show you how to focus on PowerPoint in Teams. Well, how to present a PowerPoint presentation directly into Teams. I'm going to show you the new Microsoft list in Teams. I'm going to show you how to make a new team, how to communicate with your teams, how to share files in your team channels and chat, and where those are saved. Okay, Alex, you're not using Teams right now. A lot of you are using Teams. Okay, great. And you all can also post in the chat. What are some other classes? Some of you know I've been teaching these free classes every Thursday from 10 to 11. So give me some ideas. Go ahead and post in the chat. What are some other classes you'd like to learn? Like OneDrive, SharePoint, SQL. What are some other things that you all are interested in? And I'll do a little sample classes on those. So let me get into this class here. We'll start with shortcuts in Microsoft Teams. So you all can write this down. It's Control period brings up the list of shortcuts, or Control dot. So let me do that again. Now, some of you will see in my screen, you see my meeting screen, and you see this other Teams screen here. So we have a Teams screen and the meeting screen. Now, the cool feature about this is that I could show you things on my computer in Microsoft Teams while I'm looking at the chat if people have questions. But if you do have a question, just put that in the chat and I'll get to that towards the end of this call. So have any of you seen these dual screens where you have Teams and then a meeting and separate screens? Let me show you how we did that here. So let me expand Teams. Here's the Microsoft Teams application and these new features. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that some of these features may not work at your company. IT may have it turned off, or you just may not have that available to you yet. So let me show you how these new updates were. I'm going to click on my profile picture in the top right corner. And I'm going to go to check for updates right here. So when you click for check for updates, that's when it sees if there's any updates in your app. I'm not going to do that now because we're in a meeting, but it's right there, check for updates. And if some of you can use the mobile Teams application on your cell phone, you can download that right here. And that's how you, so if you're in a hurry, you can get a call, you can join a meeting from your cell phone right there. So let me show you also in this settings screen, another one. It shows I'm presenting here. So on my profile picture, presenting, but it's even better to do not disturb when you're in a meeting. And the shortcut for that is up here at the top, / do not disturb, and just enter. Now it says your status is being set to do not disturb, where that means there will be no notifications popping up in Microsoft Teams while you're on do not disturb. You just have to make sure you go back and change that back to available after the meeting. So those new updates right here, the new updates brought me these two screens. So you all can see these, you can raise your hand, you all see these two screens here, see the chat and you see the Microsoft Teams. Okay, great. Okay, thank you all. So you're all paying attention, great. So this way you can get more done. I can see if you have a question while I'm showing you, while I'm presenting something in the Teams window. So that's a new feature here. Okay, now let me show you the other things, which is the shortcuts in Microsoft Teams. So the reason I like the shortcuts is because that helps me remember where things are in Microsoft Teams, such as Control Period brings up the shortcuts. So you have to be in the Teams app here, then Control Period or Control Dot, it brings this up. That's called Show Keyboard Shortcuts right there. So you all can try this if you want, if you're in the app, Control Period to bring up shortcuts. Another good one is Show Commands. So let me close this. So Show Commands is Control /. That's Control / to show all the commands. So like this one, D&D for do not disturb, activity to see someone's activity. And you can just click on one of these. So activity, and then you pick someone's name on your team. Like for instance, Charlie. See Charlie's activity. Because maybe someone posted a message to you, you can't find that message, but it would be right here. It would show when they did that, what date from the newest to the oldest in here of their activity. Okay, so again, Control /. Go ahead, everyone do that. Control / here to bring this up. Now you may have to click back into the meeting to see me here, but there we go. So there's a lot of things in here, like join to join a team, other keyboard shortcuts like Control keys is another one. Brings this up, same as Control Period. But let me show you some other cool ones, some others that are really going to be helpful. So here's two shortcuts I want you all to remember. Control E, so write this down. Control E as an echo is where you can search for everything. So it's Control E, and I'll search for outlines. So Control E brings you up here. It searches for everything on any word that you type in here, and it shows the date from newest to oldest on the left. And I can just click on one of these on the left, and it shows where this post was made. You see that in yellow at the bottom. then it goes away. That's right here. That's this word outlines. That's Control E. Now, let's say I'm on a particular team. Let me go to teams. Let's say you're on several teams. So I'm on teams, and I'm going to go down here to computer classes, general channel. See, I'm on the general channel, and I'm going to do Control F. So write this down. Control F, outlines. Will search anything of what you're in. Control F is specific to what you're in. So right here it says no matches found. That means there's no words of outlines in this general channel. So search, you see that next to Control F or /find, it's looking in the JN computer general channel, looking for outlines. But it's real easy. Let me close this to show you that again. So I close this top part. Let me just go back. So I can go back. I want you all to practice this too. Is that you see the go back on the top left corner? I want you all to click on that. See that? Go back. Practice doing that. That takes you back to the last thing you were in. So right now, see, I'm in the computer classes channel. Now if I do Control F to search and I type outlines and press enter, you'll see outlines. One thing of outlines come up on the left. Right there, click on it. And so Control F found it right here in whatever channel or whatever team you're on. We always have to be on a channel. So whether you're in a channel or a chat, so if you're in a chat with someone, you and one other person, you press Control F. That'll look for that word just between you and that one other person. And that's in the chat here. Like for instance, our chat here, if I click on chat, let me go ahead and click on that chat. And if I do Control F, and if I type in yes here and press enter, you see that yes come up of every time someone said yes on the left. Or I can change that up here at the top, no, and enter, and see, okay, right there. So if you have any questions, please post those into chat. I want you all to practice the shortcuts. Again, Control period to bring all those up, and just go through and just see what's available to you, like zoom out, zoom in. I'll show you a few of those again real quick here. Zoom in is Control plus. So Control plus to zoom in. Control plus. Control minus to zoom out. So Control minus is zoom out. And then Control 0 is back to normal, to 100%. Okay, so go ahead and post any. So right there you see it's zoomed out really far. That's the Control minus. And then Control 0 is to zoom back to normal. Control 0. Okay, any questions, just post those into chat. Okay, let's see what's next on the list, because some of these things take a little bit longer to do than just a few shortcuts. So I showed you multiple chat windows, shortcuts. Now let me show you meeting notes. So right here in this meeting notes, first let me show you this meeting. Right here, here's the meeting. We're in the meeting here. To bring up meeting notes, you click on the little 3 dots. Here, I'll make this bigger. So here's my meeting feature here. Click on the ellipses, the 3 dots, and just go to meeting notes. Let me find that again. So, I want to show you another feature here before I forget. Do you all see together mode? If you all want to turn if any of you want to turn your camera on, you can. This is called together mode. That some people have been asking me, well, we want to see everyone together, like in a room. And now you can see anyone has their camera on. You will see this together in a room. To do that, that's on the ellipses at the top. Like I said, this is a feature you all may not have available to you. That's ellipses and then together. Hey, I see some of you. See, we're all in an auditorium together, virtually. Yeah, that's the ellipses and together mode. So you all could write that down. Do you all, well, So only me as the since I set this meeting up, only I can get in this mode. Like you all, when you all click on the ellipses, this is probably grayed out for you all, right? So you can wave at other people. Hey. Right, you could post that in the chat. That should be grayed out for you all, the together mode. So only the meeting organizer can do this, ellipses together mode. But let me show you the meeting notes. That's actually under the meeting chat. Let me go back to the chat here. Here's the chat window. It's under chat, and it should be the most recent chat. If you're in a meeting, it'll be, let me show you that again real quick, how to get to that. So I'm clicking on chat. Let me close this find here. So the X closes this find window at the top. Just double click on the blue bar to make that bigger or smaller at the top here. That's double click on the blue or purple bar here. Okay, now let me go back to, let me just click on Teams. Let me close this results, see this X here. Let me go back to chat. I just want to show you, see the full chat list at the top is the most recent chat right here, Teams tips. The last one was last week's Outlook tips and tricks. So right there, Teams, click on that. Here's where you're in the list. And at the top, I'll go to look for meeting notes here. Let me get back to my example here. So let me show you another way to get in there. Go to calendar. So the calendar tab, I'm going to click on today's meeting right here. So that's the calendar, the meeting, the actual meeting from the calendar. Let me scroll up here. And right there at the top. Okay, do you see the meeting notes there? Click on that. So calendar, the meeting notes. And these notes get saved. I'll go ahead and type in here agenda for Teams meeting. I'll say Teams training 9/10/2020. And now on the bottom, I'm going to paste in here the agenda right in here. I'll copy that. Click over here. Right there, we're capture meeting objectives. Type that in at Control V to paste that. There that is. There's our meeting notes right here. And everything gets saved. There's no save button. You can make things bold if you want. I'll click on bold or italic or highlight. Let me highlight team shortcuts here. So highlight that. And let me close that. So you can do these notes ahead of time, or like I did by going to the calendar, clicking on this meeting, clicking on meeting notes at the top. That top tab brings that up. There's other things in here. In other classes, I'll teach you scheduling assistant to see who's busy, chat, whiteboard. That's all in these other full classes. Okay, so let me show you where these meeting notes are saved. So that's right there. So it's today, September 10th. Now we got to find them. So a lot of times they're saved in OneDrive. Let me bring up my OneDrive folder here. So on the left, I'm going to click on OneDrive. So right here, they're under OneDrive, and let me find it. So it's under Microsoft Teams Data and Wiki. And I'll look for date modified right there. You all see that? September 10th, 2020. If you all want to write this down, you can. Meeting notes are saved in your OneDrive, Microsoft Teams Data, Wiki. I'll post this in the chat so you can see right here. So some of you may not have access to OneDrive. If you do, that's where the meeting notes are saved for any meeting. And then I just find that, see this one, free online Microsoft Teams tips. This and these notes and Microsoft saves, even though this meeting is called, let me go back to the meeting. See, this meeting is called Microsoft Teams Tips and New Features Webinar right there. That's what I renamed it. Let me turn off together mode here. But the old name is free online. So Microsoft, just to show you, I'll show this again. Microsoft keeps the old names on a lot of these things. So here is the old name. Let me double click on that to open it. It'll be coming up right here. There we go. So since this is on the web browser, it doesn't show that highlighted part, but that's how you get to the notes later. That's where they're saved in your OneDrive. Another way to access those is from the meeting chat. Let me go back there. So I'll go to the chat. So you'll see a notification, it shows meeting notes, but only people in my organization or your organization can see those meeting notes. And they'll show up here. After the meeting, they show up here in the chat. After our meeting, it'll show meeting notes. It'll be right in there. So any questions on that, on meeting notes? It's just a way, because look at this chat. You see with the chat, it may be hard to find things like important things that I wrote. But if I want to put these important things into the meeting chat here, or to meeting notes, I'll copy that. Let me go to the notes again. Back to my calendar. And the meeting notes at the top. So I'm going to paste in a new section here. So I paste a new section here. And you can move these around. So there we go. I paste a new section in here. And then when I close this, it will get updated onto your OneDrive here. It may take a minute. See here it said 1022. Let me go ahead and click on it. See if it's in there. Okay, right there. Do y'all see how quick that works? I pasted in these new items. Y'all could take a picture or screenshot of this right there. Any questions on the meeting notes? See how this may work better than just chat. We're gonna have to look for things in the chat to find all this stuff. It could take a long time for a long meeting, or if a lot of people chatted a lot, it'd be hard to find important things. Okay, now let's see what's on the list. Next part of the list here. So next, I'm going to show you how to present a PowerPoint in Teams. Do any of you work on PowerPoint? You could raise your hand. Let me bring back the meeting. We got a bunch of windows here. Okay, so a lot of you work in PowerPoint. A lot of you do PowerPoint presentations. Okay, great. I noticed once you turn together mode on, can't turn it off. So, okay, let me show you how to present a PowerPoint. So I'll go back to this meeting we're in. So here's our meeting. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. So I'm going to show you some important screen share functions here. So right now, you all do not see you don't see my screen. Like I'm opening up a PowerPoint. Now you just see me, you don't see what's on my screen. So to share my screen, it's under your meeting toolbar, where you click on share content. And you all, actually, you cannot see this because I'm not sharing my screen yet. But I'm going to click, when I do the screen share, I'm going to click on include computer sound, and I'm going to click on desktop. Now you all see my desktop. At the top, you'll notice real quickly that came up as presenting. Let me make this bigger so you can see that. Let me do this again. So at the very top, you'll see presenting. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so now you see my screen. Now I'm going to click on PowerPoint. So this is just by sharing that first screen on the top left corner. It's just sharing your whole desktop, where you see PowerPoint, then you see Microsoft Word here. Other documents come up, and then I would have to click on to share this PowerPoint. To do a screen slideshow, I'd have to click on slideshow, and now you see the slideshow come up where I click on each thing, go and click on play. And you also see at the bottom, I have the words, the automatic words coming up. So you can play a YouTube video inside of your presentation, and you all should be able to hear this once it starts up. So it's doing the transcript at the bottom, and that's good during a PowerPoint presentation. If you're in an office, other people around you, and you just want to hear what's happening in the meeting.
Remember Nathan with Jay in training, and what I've come to see is that when I talk to HR managers or training managers or anyone in a company, that they know that people need these skills, but the companies just don't have the capability to teach the people themselves.
Okay, could you all hear that? You all could raise your hand. Did you hear that part of the presentation? The words? Okay, great. So, and write this down on your notes. The reason you all heard that on my screen from my computer, that's when you share your screen and you've got to click on the little button that says include audio. So include system audio is what it's called, okay? So that's a pro tip.
And that's where we come in.
Let me pause this. Okay, and I'll go to the next slide here. So that's include system audio if you want people to hear what you're playing on your computer. If you don't include system audio, you can't play sounds from your computer. So here, this is the Six Sigma presentation that you get with the Six Sigma class. I'm just going through the slides here. But let me show, now that's one way to do the PowerPoint presentation. Let me get out of this presentation here, right there. Now let me show you the other way to present. So right here, you're seeing my screen here, but let me stop sharing my screen and I'm going to show you how to present a PowerPoint slide. So at the top here, you see this hide share options. I'm going to click on this screen share, stop sharing. Now right there, now you don't see my desktop. Now I'm going to start sharing the PowerPoint presentation by itself. Now you have to have the PowerPoint presentation open. Go ahead and click on it. Well, actually, sometimes you don't have to have it open if you've had it open recently, or if it's from SharePoint or OneDrive, it may find that presentation. So right here I'm sharing my screen. Instantly it starts the slideshow, and I just click on each thing. But on here, I believe you cannot hear this sound on your computer. You all could raise it. Did anyone hear that? You all hear that audio? Okay, so you all do not hear that audio because you don't have an option in PowerPoint when you do a direct PowerPoint presentation to share the audio feature. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Thanks for participation. So again, when you do a direct PowerPoint presentation like I'm doing here, when you share the PowerPoint presentation in this full screen, you do not have sound for people, that's all. But if it's a normal presentation, like right now, the good part about this is I'm going through the slides here, like define phase, Pareto charts. I'm going through these slides, but I can also see, oh, Connor says you can click and play it yourself. Okay, great. So you all can see this PowerPoint presentation in here. Okay, great. So like right now I'm presenting this PowerPoint presentation, but I can also see, people messaging questions while I'm presenting. So before, when I was sharing my desktop, I couldn't see this. So like I said before, I could not share, I cannot see the chat while I was in the PowerPoint presentation, but now I can see the chat. Like Connor asked, how is it interactive? Well, what do you mean, Connor, about how it's interactive? Thanks for the question. I see you typing. Well, I didn't know it was interactive. But Connor, you're saying you can flip through these slides yourself? Okay. Okay, Jillian. Okay, thanks. So basically, it's just when you share the presentation, then you're sharing the slideshow with you all, but you all can see the slideshow too, right? You can raise your hand if you see me flipping through the slides in Teams. Oh, Connor says no, you just click on the YouTube video. Okay. Okay, but you see, oh, and Sandra says you can flip through the slides. Okay, great. Yeah, this is Charlie Nathan's Six Sigma class that he teaches on site or online at companies. So, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this screen. We'll keep moving on. So again, that's PowerPoint, sharing PowerPoint in your presentation. So basically, you have, the main features is desktop, which is the top left screen. You can also share screen number 2. I'll click on that. I'll start sharing that screen. So now you all see my screen number 2 over here, which is a secondary screen. So if I open up a file here, like for example, Dropbox, now you all see my Dropbox screen. So you all see this Dropbox. Go ahead and raise your hand. You see the Dropbox outline on the right. Okay, great. So now that I have 2 screens set up, I have the screen to the right of me where I'm sharing that screen number 2. I can make that full screen, but I can go back also, and right here I'm in this chat. I can see the chat, and I can show you things here in this other screen as I'm doing that. So that's screen 1 and screen 2. The box in the top left corner when you share your screen is screen 1. The one underneath that is screen 2. If you have other screens, there's other options. And Jillian says there's 2 options on the bottom of the screen on a smart device control, yourself or presenter controls. Okay, so a smart device, you mean like a cell phone or mobile phone? When you say smart device, Jillian? Okay, iPad or mobile. Okay. Yeah, I've only presented from the desktop, so that's good features. Like you're saying, we can present from the iPad or mobile with other options to control how you're presenting. Okay, great. So like Andrew says, you only see one screen, right? You see the screen. You see the screen number 2 here. But if I stop sharing the screen and I just share my one screen here, then you'll just see here's the one screen you see. Now this is screen 1 that I'm sharing. I could turn off the other monitor and you just see this screen. Okay, so any questions on screen sharing? Let me go back to the chat real quick. Connor says you don't know how to control on a PC. Well, you have to be a presenter, Connor. So you have to be a presenter, and that's the only way to bring up. So on this menu bar, you all see this menu bar here with participants, conversation, raise my hand. So you see that, and this one is the screen share options. So it's screen share. Oh, you mean to control the slides. Let me, after this, towards the end here, let me get back to your question to see about PowerPoint again. Okay, so now right here, so screen sharing, more options here. So just practice this stuff. You can bring these options up before a meeting. You can bring it up a day before, a week before a meeting, and you can just click on these options just to get practice with this if you are a presenter, if you are the organizer of a meeting. Okay, that's one thing to remember. You can always get into the meeting yourself ahead of time to bring up these features. Okay, let me get back into some other things here. Now let me show you Microsoft List. So Microsoft List, what that is, it's from SharePoint List, and now it's a direct feature in Microsoft Teams. So new feature, Microsoft Teams. Let me show you where this is at. I'll go to my Teams, and I'm going to go to a channel. So Teams, could be any channel. Let's say Six Sigma Process Improvement channel. Right here. Let me click on the channel. See right there, it comes up at the top. Six Sigma Process Improvement. And at the top, just click on the plus tab. So since this is a new feature, you all might not have this available to you yet. Just to let you know, you might not have this available. But it's this button here called List. Right there. Bring List into your channel. Click on it. This purple, yellow, and orange icon. Then you click on Save. Now we have a list. It just says List tab at the top. And I'll show you how to create a new list. Click on Create a New List. And let's do travel request. Maybe you want to travel to the beach, or one of our company locations that's on the beach here. So travel request. So this is a travel request here. Now let me move this so you can see. So I'm going to use this template. There's all other kind of templates here. Issue tracker, event itinerary, asset manager, incidents. So you have several different templates, or you can create a new one from scratch. I'm going to use this template. I'll click Use Template. So I'll just leave this travel request. For the name, I'm going to put in here Six Sigma. That way I just know that that way if I have other travel requests for other teams, I know this is for the Six Sigma team right there. In description, I'll just say request for travel expenses. And let's make a color here, orange. There's the icon. You can pick an icon. There's the orange airplane. Click Create. And it's creating the template. At the top says travel request for Six Sigma is the name right there. You can rename this stuff, but like I was telling you all before, you want to make sure you have the correct name ahead of time. When you rename things in Microsoft Teams, a lot of times in SharePoint, it stores the old name. So just remember that. You want to just keep the correct name ahead of time. Okay, so let's add some items here. Click on New Item. We're going to add a new travel request here. So trip title, we'll say this will be sales team meeting. Reason for travel. Discuss Q3, well, let's say to discuss Q4 sales. Objectives. So requester on the right, you put in your name, who's requesting this, right there. Destination, let's put in here, let's put Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas here. And we'll pick some dates on the calendar. So right here, picking some dates of our travel start and end date. Pick what airline, Southwest. So hotel, you can search for hotel. So put a hotel location in here, airfare cost, put 700 hotel cost, 1,000. Approved, I'll say no, it hasn't been approved. I'll click on Save. So right there, I save this list. That's one item, one request. So if another employee needs, so that's just me, my travel expenses. Another employee has travel expense. They click on new item, put in their expenses here. I'll hit cancel. They would save that. Now let me show you where that's saved. Right there with the little asterisk, it means it's saved. The item is new. And to see that, that's under SharePoint. So let me click on the three dots. Let me show some easy ways how to do this. Let me just click on the three dots on the top. Three dots here, ellipses. Copy link to the tab. Go to your web browser. A new tab. So I'm bringing up a new tab. Control V to paste and enter. So right there, actually, that pasted. Let me show you that. Let me show you the full long way to get in here. So let's go to SharePoint. So look, we're in all apps. So do you all see this? You all have this on your computers too, office.com, where you have all your applications. Are any of you using SharePoint now? If you have access to SharePoint, just click down here on SharePoint, and I'll show you where that's saved, where that list is. So here's SharePoint. Here's all the list. Let me go down here to recent, the Six Sigma Process Improvement Team. There. And I'm going to go to contents on the left, site contents. And I'm going to look for list. So let me click on refresh here to make sure they're in there. So I'm going to click on the home section of this site. And on the left, let me go to site contents again. Sometimes it takes a few minutes before that list is in SharePoint. But let me show you what that looks like on another site here. So I'm going to the computer classes team, the site contents on this site. So every team you have in Microsoft Teams has a site, a team site in SharePoint. So it's computer classes team. I go to site contents. You'll see a list here, travel request. So it's another travel request for this team. So right here, this I put meeting with the sales team. Let me click on that to open it. So this is a list. So the reason for travel, requester, destination, those are all titles to columns. Really, I put in the exact same thing in this site here. So you can copy the link here. Let me copy that link to this right there. I'm copying this link for this list. I'll paste this into a new tab. So that's how you could, right here is how you can share that list with people. You just copy it and share it to share this list. Like I said, each travel request itself is an individual list. So for this trip title, I could change that in here, sales meeting. I'll say, let me put request for Jeremy in here. Okay, let me save that. That's saved. If I go here, let me click on that to show you that. See, the name is saved, sales meeting request. That way it's specific to me. Let me show you how to export that to Excel. Click on export to Excel. And I show you a lot more features, and I teach a full 8-hour SharePoint class online or on site. And I also teach SharePoint, I'm going to teach that November 18th in the advanced Microsoft Teams training from 10 to noon on November 18th. You'll see a lot more features there. So right here, I'm going to click on Open with Excel, click OK. I'm exporting this list to Excel. Let me click on Excel to bring this up. Let me show you this. And here's what that looks like. Let me do this again so you all can see this. Let me minimize, let me just leave this here. Let me do that again real quick. Export to Excel, click on Open, because it popped up on the other screen. I'm gonna have it pop up on this screen. You'll see this notification come up that says it's identified it as a potential security concern, but you just clicked on this, so just click Enable. You're the one who exported this, and click on Table, click on New Workbook. You could also do New Worksheet, Existing Worksheet, however you want to import this data. I'm going to do New Workbook, click OK. And now you see a new workbook. It says contains a string that is too long. Okay. So right here, here's our workbook with that list. So that's how you export a brand new list into Microsoft Excel that you made with each item here. Shows the Bing map, location, cost, shows the path of this travel request here. Okay, if you all have any questions with that, post those in the chat, and I'll get those questions just a second. So that, again, that's in Teams. That's under List. Like I said, some of you may not have that available to you. Okay, so let me go back to show you that real quick here. So again, Teams, so you got to click on a new tab at the top, add a tab, click on List. You can also import a list. So click on List. You can import a list from SharePoint. You copy that SharePoint list URL and paste it in here. I'll show you how that would work. So right there, it's add an existing list. Right there, I can put in a SharePoint link, or I can select an item. I can do like an item I had here, a template, a recent template, or like I said, I can add a SharePoint link in here. Okay, so if you have any questions on list, you put that in there. Let me show you what's next. What's next is making a new team. So I'll show you how to make a new team really quick. Some of you might not be able to make a new team if you don't have those, if you don't have that feature available to you. But to make a new team, I'll click Join or Create a Team. And right here, that's at the very bottom of the screen. In Teams, the Teams tab, Join or Create a Team at the bottom, and click on Create Team. And you can create a brand new team from scratch, or you can create it from an existing Microsoft 365 group. And I show you more this Microsoft 365 group in more details from in the that's in the next month's October 21st intermediate teams training. But right here, I'm going to show you how to create a team from scratch. So go back, build a team from scratch. We'll make this a private team, where most of your teams are private, where you have to add people to them. And the name here, and this just how to make a beginning team. This is also, I teach this September 23rd in the beginning Microsoft Teams training. So this team, we'll call this, let's call it Teams Team. And I'll put today's date, that way I know when I set this up. I always put the word team, that way I know it's a team and not just a Microsoft 365 group. And Teams, I can call it Microsoft here. There we go, click on Create. It's creating the team. Now it'll ask me who I want on the team. I'm on there because I made the team, and it'll ask who else do I want in here. So I'll say in here Charlie. Click Add. And so I have the availability. I'll show you here. I'm going to add Charlie as a guest with his with just his other email here. So in my company, I can add guests to a team. Some of your organizations, you may not be able to add a guest who's outside of your company to a team, just to let you know. Like, for example, add myself as a guest here, right there. And you can also make people in your organization a co-owner. But like I said, I have the availability to add guests. You all may not have that available to you to add people outside your organization to a Microsoft team. So right there, I click close. That's in this. It always brings up a general tab. And if I want to make a channel, I just go here to the ellipses to the right of the team and click add channel. And I'll call this Microsoft Teams channel right there. And it's standard means it's accessible to everyone on the team, or private means it's only for specific people on a team. I'll go ahead and make it private. I'll click next. It'll ask me who do I want on this channel. And right here, I'll say, let me put my email in here. Well, when you make a channel, you are on that channel. So I'm in this channel, so I'd have to add other people to it. Charlie in here, click add, and I'll click on done. So Charlie, he's a co-owner of the whole team, but he's just a member of the channel. And like I said, I get in more detail on this September 23rd at 10 in the morning from that 10 to noon full class. Click on done. So that's how you make a team and a channel right there. A team and a channel. Post a message here, hello. Now it's in the chat for that channel. Now let me show you how to share a file in a channel. So you want to share, it's best to share files in a channel or a chat. Within a channel is probably easier to find than in a chat. So I'm going to show you that first. So someone asked, what's the benefit of a channel versus a team? Well, every team has a general, so that's a good question. Every channel has a general, or excuse me, every team has a general channel. You have to talk to each other on a channel, whether it's general or a new channel. You have to talk to each other on a channel. Just think of a channel like a television channel. We have to, that's where you communicate with each other on that team. So, and these channels make it specified that I added other people on my team, and what I have is this general channel. I'll show you that with ellipses. I'll go to manage channel for the general channel, and on here I want to do that only owners can post messages. So just like, for example, Charlie and I can only post messages here, but if we have 50 people on this team or 100 people on this team, they can't post messages on this general channel. And on the Microsoft Teams channel, that's where anyone who's on the channel can post and read messages. So you can have different people on channels in here in your teams. But I'll get to that more and more in the more in-depth classes to explain that more. You can also send me emails about that. Okay, now how to share a file within the channel. I'll go to files at the top. So right there, files at the top. I'm going to put a new file in here. Let me show you how to do that. I'm just going to drag a file in there from the desktop right here. So on my desktop, click. Let me show you how to do that from OneDrive. Let's go ahead and put this into OneDrive first, and then put it from OneDrive into there. So here's the file. I'll put it into OneDrive. There it is. It's in OneDrive at the bottom. So that way I can update the file in OneDrive and put it into here. But this is kind of advanced. Once you put a file into your team, once you put a file into your team channel, that's then saved in SharePoint. So it's not saved back and forth. I'm just putting this file from OneDrive just so I can find that file easily in OneDrive. That's all. So right there, I dragged that file from OneDrive into here. Let me do that, make sure it got in there. Well, actually, it looks like it won't let me drag a file from OneDrive onto the team channel because OneDrive and SharePoint are separate. So let me go back here and put that back onto my desktop. Let me just put that on the desktop here. There, it's on the desktop. Then I can click on the desktop, drag this into here. Let me see why it's not letting me. Let me go ahead and let me do upload here. Upload a file from the computer at the top. And let me go to desktop. Double click on outlines to bring these in here. See, it's uploading. Maybe just didn't like me dragging that onto there. So right there, that's how you put files. Just that's easy. Upload. You should be able to drag it in there, but upload here. Upload it from a folder, or you can do a new Microsoft Word document, new Excel document, new PowerPoint, new OneNote under new. Okay, anyway, I have this file in here. Now to see where this file is saved in SharePoint, you just click on here. Let me show you, let me go back and show you how to get in here. Go into a different team to go back into this team. So different team, see, like Sandra's asking, I can't just click on a team. I have to click on a channel in that team to open up that channel. Go to files at the top for that channel, and then click on open in SharePoint. And then this brings up the document library in SharePoint right here, documents, Microsoft Teams channel. And this is on MT on the Microsoft Teams site. It's a lot of teams. And I'll click on the file to open up in the browser. Right there, I'm opening up that PDF of the outlines I'm going to send to you all. And I can zoom in right here. Here's that outline, here's that PDF in Microsoft Teams. This PDF was made using Adobe Pro DC, where I teach that class also. Okay, any questions with putting these files into a team channel and then accessing them in SharePoint? Right there. That's where it's at. Now, I didn't have to open, I'm just showing you that to open in SharePoint to show you where this file is now stored. Now you can also click on this file here in your team channel and just bring it up right here. This is the quickest way to bring this up. So control and scroll up, we'll zoom in. Let me zoom in here. Right there, zooming in. And I'll go ahead and links work in here. See, we have full SharePoint class. Let me click on that. Okay, any questions on that? How you can open up a file right here in Microsoft Teams. So that's what's nice about Teams. You can meet with your teams. If right here we're in a presentation, I'm showing you all, I'm showing our team here, this file that we're talking about right here. If I need to explain a formula, I can do that right here in Microsoft Teams. Okay, I'll click on close, that closes it. You can edit in that window too. If you have any questions on that, post that in the chat. Now let me show you how to share a file in a chat window. And this will be the last thing I showed you here. So right here in this chat, for example, I'll share a file with Charlie in a chat right here at the top. I'll go to files, and I'm going to share that same file. Just makes it quick to share. I'm going to drag that and drop that into chat here. So this file is going into a chat with just Charlie and I, just us two people, where only he and I can see this file. And that's this one where it's posted just now. These outlines is now in the chat, and I'll show you where that's saved. So it's opening here in Microsoft Teams. So it's coming up. So here it is. This is opened up here. And now let me show you where it's saved real quick. It's saved in your OneDrive. And let me open this up. It's under Microsoft Team chat files right there. So at the top, that's saved in your OneDrive, Microsoft Team chat files. And right there from September 10th, 10:59 a.m., that's where that file is saved. When you share files in a chat, they're all saved in this folder in OneDrive, Microsoft Teams chat files. Microsoft Teams chat files. You can write that down, OneDrive, or take a picture of that. Okay, any questions? Thanks for letting me go right to the, I know we went right to the end here, but let me, I'll answer questions. I know it's right at the top of the hour. Let me see what questions some of you have in the chat. So go ahead and, or if anyone, let me stop sharing the screen, or excuse me, I'm going to stop recording. And right here.